Shalom, shalom. Yashain, Ashton Sinclair, back again with yet another. Today's not even a lesson. This is gonna be like a basically another personal account of intricate ways that Yahweh speaks to me. A lot of people don't believe me when I say that, but I have plenty and many of examples to be able to break down and show to you. This isn't gonna be specifically about the pop smoke or pop prophecy. Yes, what I mean by that is that Yahweh used Pop Smoke, as y'all who know who Pop Smoke is, young rapper who just passed recently back in February. Yahweh used this man to send me a very, very significant message about my identity. Now, anybody who has been following me, anybody who has been listening diligently, y'all know that I told y'all basically Yahweh uncovered to me or began to uncover to me exactly who I am back in December. It was really the whole 2017, but he hammered home the point of, who I am on December 5th of 2017. And that was the night that he let me know that it was him who I saw back in 2011. So everything, I got a whole bunch of details, and that's what my book consists of. Y'all always hear me, referring to my book. This actually, I haven't type this out and put all the intricate details and everything into my book, so I'm gonna be kind of winging the details or whatever, but y'all just stay with me. It's gonna make sense. But I need y'all paying attention to everything, because like I said, Yahweh can use any and everything he wants to send you a message. You got to be able to decode and decipher what he's saying. He does not speak in just a plain manner. He makes you think and have to use your mind, and makes you have to pay attention, makes you have to search, seek diligently. So the same way out here that I always relate all the visions and things that he sends me to the scriptures. Same thing with this. He used Pop Smoke literally to confirm some real deep shit for me. So y'all listen. Now I have to start with the passing of my mother. If y'all see that right there, that's my mother. She passed at the age of 47 on October 28th of last year. She passed on October 28th and was buried on November 9th. So those of you who have been listening, as y'all can see the service right there, November 9th. Those of you who have been listening, paying attention to me, the number 9 is very synonymous to myself, and it is the number of finality and judgment. The number 9 is the number of finality and judgment. So y'all pay attention. Now, my mother passed on October 28th and was buried on November 9th. November 9th just happened to be, coincidentally, 777 days exactly. 777 days exactly from the fulfillment of the Revelation 12 sign, right? So, okay. The fulfillment of the Revelation 12 sign was an alignment of the constellations. Now, I can't get into with y'all exactly what Yahweh did on that date. That was a very significant date for me as well. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna kind of just briefly show y'all just something that the major connections that he made for me on that date. So I was able to put this in the book and everything. So y'all can see that, right? And that's connected to this Revelation 12 sign. As y'all see, it's a woman on there, right? It's like I said, it's an alignment of the constellations. But basically, when this happened, Yahweh, I'm not gonna give y'all all the details just yet, because I actually just not too long ago tried to make a video to be able to expound on that, and Yahweh he didn't let me do it. So it just ain't time for me to tell folks exactly what went on with that. But that was the fulfillment of the Revelation 12 sign, and it happened on September 23rd of 2017. I told y'all he was letting me know who I am that whole year, right? So Revelation 12, we're going to start here. And there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman. Now that woman was the representation of Israel, Yahweh's bride, the woman, his love, right? Clothed with the sun and the moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars. Those 12 stars are the 12 tribes of Israel, right? And she, being with child, cried, travailing in birth and pain to be delivered. Now, she being with child, pain to be delivered. Now, her basically the woman, like I said, was Israel. The child that it's referring to is the son, the Messiah, who is prophesied to come through the through the bloodline of Israel, right? So okay, this fulfillment represented and the way it played out and everything, like I said, it's real complicated. I gotta go back and look at videos of all that stuff, but it basically represented within the constellations the story of the birth of the Messiah, right? And many actually call this literally the sign of the Messiah. So, like I said, this is what Yahweh sent me on that day. I'm not gonna break it down right now, but just know it's very deep, and I did some shit I can't damn make up. So I'm gonna let y'all briefly lay your eyes upon that. If y'all see right there on this side, that's September 23rd, right? Y'all stay with me. So okay, like I said, my mother was buried and laid to rest finally on November 9th. Power off. On November 9th of last year, correct? So okay, November 9th, when you do the math from September 23rd of 2017 to November 9th of last year, it adds up to exactly 777 days. Now, those of you who have been listening, paying attention, the number 7, as you should know, is the number of divine completion and perfection. It is the identity number, identification number of Yahweh, pretty much you can say, right? So 777 is a very big message. 777. The name that he gave me, his name adds up to perfect 70, and it's the only name that does so. YAHWEH, and this is one of the many ways and proofs that I have to prove that the Father's name is Yahweh. YAHWEH. It's not Yahweh. It's not anything else. It's Yahweh, bro. You can come into it on your own. You can listen to me. I break it down to you. Hey, it don't matter. But YAHWEH is the only sacred name that you get that's going to add up to a perfect 70. The name that he gave me when he changed my name, which those numbers in that chart that I just showed y'all, that played a part of it. Yasin adds up to 77. So, okay, YAHSEEN adds up to 77. Yahweh adds up to 70. Once again, my mother was buried and finally laid to rest on 777 days after the fulfillment of the Revelation 12 sign. Now, 11/9, that's November 9th, which is 11/9. That's 11 times 9, which is 99, which is also synonymous to me, like I said, the number 9 being my personal number. So I'm going to take y'all to Isaiah chapter 40. I'm going to read verses 1 through 3. Comfort ye, my people, says your Elohim. Speak ye comfortably to Jerusalem, and say unto her that her sentence has expired. Now, it says, speak ye comfortably. As my mother laid on her deathbed, she was unconscious, but they said she could hear. You get what I'm saying? So in her final moments, I talked her and talked peaceably to her, you know what I'm saying, and let her know that, look, Mom, we love you, you know what I'm saying? We love you, and if you're ready to go, it's okay to go. All your kids grown. You ain't got to fight no more. You've been working all your life. My mama used to say she always felt cursed because she always tried to, as soon as she almost had it together, this close, something she taking 2 steps forward, something knock her back 100 steps. And I watched that plenty of times in my life, man. You know what I'm saying? And that's part of the shit that pushed me out to the street because I got tired of seeing, my mother struggling. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to make a difference, but I just didn't know how. You feel me? So I made the wrong decision, but the wrong decision ended up making the right outcome. Because when I went to jail, I told y'all this old man, I walk in, this man say, hey, I know who you are. He told me you was coming. You've been waiting on me. Yahweh told this man I was coming. And he had been waiting on me. So, like I said, nothing happens by accident. So, okay. It says, say unto her that her sentence has expired. So an expiration means that something is complete, right? It's expired, it's stopped, it's over. So as I told y'all, Yahweh used my mother and her passing as a marker for the end of our 400-year curse, right? So that 777 plays into that. 777, letting it be known that it's completion to the third power. This is straight from Yahweh. I can't make up these dates and make up these, these amounts of days and all. I can't control that. So y'all how could I make this up? Ask yourself that before you hate me for bringing it to you. All right. So, okay. that her sentence has expired and that her iniquity is pardoned, for she has received of Yahweh's hand double for all her sins. The voice of him that cries in the wilderness, which is John the Baptist, the old man. Prepare ye the way of Yahweh, make straight in the desert a highway for our Elohim. So my last song that my mama heard on the last time that I actually saw her was a song that I had just recorded like a week before that. I called it Highways. Now, if you go on my Instagram page, which is Yahshayin, YAHSHAYIN. If you go on my Instagram page, like probably like the first video like that's up there, you're gonna see her in the chair, and I'm behind her, you know what I'm saying, recording her, and she don't know I'm recording, but she was dancing to my song, you know what I'm saying. That was the same night that, you know, that was the last. Basically, when I went over there, for some reason, she just knew. It's like she knew she was about to go. She just wanted to hear all my songs that I ever recorded, and we just kicked it and partied that night. And her last text message that she sent me, now, matter of fact, as I'm thinking about it, her last text message that she sent me, if y'all can see this was on that night. That's a flame. I'm sorry. But if y'all can't see that, it's 9:09. That was October 25th. It was 9:09 p.m. As I told y'all, number 9 is very synonymous to me as an individual. So basically, like I said, Yahweh used her as the marker for the end of our 400-year curse. Now, at this time, once she passed, I had formed a closer relationship with her husband to be, a man she had met almost a year, within a year, close to a year around that time. A man named Kenneth Jefferson. So I had met Kenneth probably one time face to face while she was alive, because Kenny he was a truck driver. So him being a truck driver, he was always out of town and everything. So like I said, I don't live with my mother, so in the times that I would go over there, go check on her, go check on my sisters and everything, he was there. He was only there one time. You feel me? So I could actually, shake his hand, see his face or whatever. Any other time I went, she was always on the phone with him, or just, talking about, she was always so excited about something new Kenny did. Kenny did this, Kenny done got me this, Kenny done did this and did. I'm like, well, damn, Kenny sound like a pretty good dude, man. He was treating my mother like a queen, man, and basically put her in a position where she didn't have to work no more. Like I said, my mother worked her whole life. From the time she was 13, and she used to tell us that, man. Like, my mama had a hard life, man. And like I said, it was because, like I said, she was being used as the personification of the marker for the end of our curse. And for the woman, the woman of being Israel, right? So, okay. She had met Kenny, and like I said, Kenny put her in a position where he gave her rest. He gave her relaxation for the last few months of her life. She didn't have to worry about working. And he had bought her this truck, right? So after she passed, like I said, once he came back in town, for everything, while everything was transpiring, so we can get this funeral done and all that, we had formed a little bond or whatever. And I had begun to call him Step Pop, right? So this is how it connects to Pop Smoke. So like I said, y'all stay with me, right? So okay, we're gonna fast forward to February 19th. Now, February 19th is significant, being that, okay, 7 years ago, and I told you about the number 7, it being the sentence has expired, right? Or the divine completion and perfection. 7 years ago, on February 19th, I was in DeKalb County Jail finishing up the introduction to Yahweh with the old man. He had went home like a couple months before that, but this was that little stint where I got introduced to Yahweh and my awakening began. So February 19th was the day after fighting my case for so long, about 16, 17 months, where they finally came down to 2 years. I had, like I said, armed robbery. Before we were talking about time, bro. Yahweh brought me out of that, though, because I put all my eggs in his basket. I ain't have no hope but Yahweh, bro. I didn't have a bond. If I did have a bond, I ain't had nobody to pay it. I was down bad, bro. And the folks, if they wanted me, they could have had me. If Yahweh let them, they would have had me. Niggas told on me and everything. You know what I'm saying? But okay. February 19th was the day I finally got sentenced. That was 7 years ago, right? They sentenced me to 2 years total. Like I said, by that time I had been locked up like 16, 17 months. So I got out October later on that same year. Went down the road, went down to prison, and got out October 4th of that same year. So fast forward 7 years later, this year, February 19th is also my sister's birthday. My mother's daughter, my older sister, her name is Allison. So I wake up on the morning of February 19th at around 9 o'clock from a vision where I see Kenny, right? My mother's soon-to-be husband. So he in the vision, I don't remember what he said. I couldn't tell if he was happy, sad, whatever it was, but he was real expressive with his hands. He was doing like, and Kenny like a big tall dude, you know what I'm saying? So I was standing in front of him, and I remember just standing in front of him, just looking at him. And like I said, I can't remember if he was mad, sad, or whatever, right? But okay, I woke up that morning around 9 o'clock, and I got up and I came in here. This is my little study area in my living room or whatever. And I hooked up to my speaker, listened to some videos, some informative videos or whatever I was doing. And my wife, she was getting ready to go somewhere. I think they'll get her nails done, something like that. But she was getting ready to go somewhere. And it might have been to work, I don't know. I think she was still working on Saturdays then. But she was getting ready to go somewhere and she asked me to crank up her car at 9:45. So she asked me this about 10, 15 minutes before that, right? So she said, look, Ashton, can you go crank up my car by no later than 9:45? I'm like, cool. So I get out there, go crank up the car at 9:45. So pay attention to that 9:45. That's 9 and 45. 45 is a multiple of 9, so that's basically 2 9s once again, right? Y'all stay with me. So okay, I go out there and I go crank up the car, and my phone automatically hooks up to her Bluetooth on the radio, right? So I don't know that until I come back in the house and I try to sit down and start back what I was doing, and what I was playing wasn't coming through the speaker that I was hooked up to, right? So I'm trying to figure out, what's the deal, what's wrong with it, and I noticed it was, like I said, it said it was connected to multiple devices. So for me to disconnect from her car, I had to go to my settings, my Bluetooth settings. So like I said, y'all keep in mind, I just woke up at 9 something from a vision of seeing Step Pop, Kenny, my mama's soon-to-be husband. So I didn't think too much of it when I woke up from the dream, from the vision. I ain't even dwell on it. But when I had to go to my settings to disconnect from her car, like I said, Kenny had bought my mama that truck. Now, when she first passed, the truck was in my possession, right? Because it was just, due to the circumstance, it was just best that it was in my hands, right? So, as y'all see that right there, mama truck. That's when I was hooking up to the Bluetooth in the truck. So when I saw that, that's what made it click. Like, oh, damn, I did see Kenny. That was Kenny I just seen in the morning, right? So like I said, I still don't think too much of it or whatever. And that day I spent that day pretty much studying and things like that, just cool. And later on that evening, I get a call from my auntie Cupcake, my mother's younger sister, right? I get a call from my auntie at exactly 8:13 p.m. 8:13 p.m. Oh, matter of fact, of course, that day, that's the same day that Pop Smoke died early that morning. So that throughout the duration of that day, we, coming to the knowledge that Pop Smoke was killed early that morning, 4-5 that morning, right? So, okay. Later on that evening, like I said, at 8:13, I get a call from my auntie, my mama's sister. She asked me, hey, nephew, did you get the news? So y'all keep that news in mind. News. Did you get the news? So I'm thinking she's talking about one of my grandma's sisters had passed, like within the week and a half before that. You feel me? So I'm thinking that she's calling to tell me about that or tell me about the funeral arrangements for that. So I'm like, yeah, I heard about Annabelle, auntie. I know it, you know what I'm saying? So I'm thinking she's talking about that. She's like, no, Kenny died this morning. I'm like, no. I just saw this man this morning in a vision this morning. You get what I'm saying? So now I'm like trying to scramble and figure out how, you know what I'm saying? Like what happened? So she said he ended up passing around about 10. Basically, I woke up at 9, somewhere within a 2-hour span, whether it been before or after I woke up. that's when Kenny passed. They said he was stepping out of that same truck. That same truck. He was stepping out. They said somebody saw him step out of the truck and he just passed out. Said he had a heart attack and he passed, right? So now I go to just show y'all that, like I said, everything I'm telling y'all, bro, I don't have to make a motherfucking thing up, bro. If y'all can see the date on it, at least, that's February 19th at 9:04 p.m. As y'all see, that's Ashton Sinclair to Kenneth Jefferson. This is the last message that I sent him. I said, damn, man, I just saw you in a vision before I woke up this morning. I couldn't quite make out what you were trying to tell me, but whatever it was, you were real passionate about it. Rest well, big fella, and tell Mom Deuce I said what's happening. So, like I said, I don't remember what he was saying to me. If he was mad, sad, angry, happy, I don't know what it was, but I just remember me standing in front of him, and like I said, he taller than me. So I'm looking up at him, and he like, like this with his hands. Now, like I said, I couldn't make out what it was. But as y'all see, like I said, I have no reason to lie. My auntie called me at 8:13. I made that post at 9:04 p.m., right? To show my last respects to him, because I did have respect for him, man. You know what I'm saying? Like the things that he did for my mother before she passed was, it was real big, man. So like I said, made my mama, who had been working her whole life, man, just gave her a chance to relax. And like I said, that was Yahweh working through him to be able to do that. You know what I'm saying? Showing that he was about to give his people rest. Give his bride, his woman, rest. Right? So, okay. Kenny died. There I woke up. So, all right. So I had to, I'm trying to make some freestyling the little details. You know what I'm saying? Because, like I said, I don't have it written down, everything written down just yet. So, automatically, once I make the connection that, okay, Pop Smoke died this morning. Kenny's died this morning. I saw Kenny before I woke up this morning. Yahweh doing something with that pop. Step Pop Smoke and step pop. Pop Smoke and step pop. Yahweh doing something with that pop, because I know how he works. It's some type of connection that he's making with this pop. So the first thing he tells me to do is add up the numerical value of the word pop. P-O-P adds up to a value of 47. Now, 47 happens to be the same age that my mother was when she passed, right? Now, also, where this is synonymous is when I was younger, around the age about 15, 16, before I knew any of this, I was trying to come up with like not a gang, but like a good guys group who basically, if we needed to get off in your ass for the protection of our community and, for the greater good, it's all about, respecting things like that. But if we had to fuck you up for things to be righteous around here, we'll get it done. And I was going to name this group the 47 Saints. So like I said, I came up with this name 15, 16 years old. The 4 and 7 represent fear, F-E-A-R, and respect, R-E-S-P-E-C-T. That's 4 and 7, right? So 47 saints. I'm quite sure y'all know what saints are. So like I said, y'all have been talking to me throughout my whole life for things that I didn't even know would make sense until years later. So now, bringing it back around, he let me know, instead of a gang, of course, that it's going to be the name of my ministry, the gathering of his saints, right? So, okay, that's the first connection that was made, was the 47. So I add that up, and like I said, a couple days going by, whatever, and I remember me and my wife, we had to go up to Kentucky to do something with her tags, with her car tags or whatever, right? To get them renewed or something like that. So either I think we was on the way back on the 27th. I think we went on the 26th, and then we was on the way back on the 27th. But the 27th of February is my mother's makeshift birthday. And what I mean by that is my mother was born on February 29th of a leap year. So ironically, that being on leap year, she would rarely get an actual birthday. So my grandmother, what she did when she was younger, so she could celebrate a birthday every year, she pushed it back to the 27th and just made that her official birthday, right? But also the number 27 is what? 9 times 3. So y'all keep it in mind, bro. So February 27th, we on the way back. We had to stop in Memphis, not in Memphis, but in Tennessee. We had to stop in Tennessee at a gas station get some gas, right? So I stick in the car at the pump and let it do the little automatic fill up thing. You know what I'm saying? So the amount ends up adding up to $15.13 at first, right? So yeah, $15.13. So automatically when I see that, I know Yahweh saying something about this 400 years. That's Genesis 15 and 13. That's Genesis 15 and 13, right? So I know he doing something talking about the 400 years. So automatically I try to tell my wife, who's still sitting in the car and I'm standing outside, I try to tell her I ain't have my phone in my pocket. I left it in the little middle, but like, you know, up on the little thing right there by the gear shift. So I asked her to get my phone, but she didn't hear me. So I had to go in there and just go get it myself because I was trying to take a picture of what I was seeing. Because like I said, when Yahweh showed me stuff and when he speak to me, I go ahead and if I have to, I take the picture of what he's telling me so I can provide it as evidence. Like I'm doing for y'all, bro. Right? So I tried to take a picture. It was sitting on that 1513 for a minute, right? So I leaned down and get the phone, and by the time I leaned back up, it done switched from 1513 to 14. So at first I'm mad. I'm like, damn, bro, I wanted to get that 1513, bro. You know what I'm saying? And it ain't clicking to me what Yahweh is doing with it. It didn't click until by the day or two later. I'm sitting right here on the same couch, and he spoke to me. Go to 15. What it say in 1514? So I go to Genesis, and I read both. So like I said, the gas pump initially stopped on 1513. Rested there for a little minute. I turned my back, and when I turned my back again, it was on 1514. So Genesis 15:13. And he said unto Abraham, know of a surety that your seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs, and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years. So that 400 years, I told you, I used my mother as the marker for the end of our curse. Right? So the end of that 400 years. So like I said, I see this immediately. Then seconds later, it changes to 1514. It didn't click to me what he was doing with the changing it to 1514. But the next day, it clicked. And also that nation whom they shall serve will I judge, and afterward they shall come out with great substance. Because it's that 1513, that 400 years, that's old news, baby. It's over with. Them 400 years is over with. So now he's highlighting to me that we're about the part where he's about to bring the judgment on the nations. And as y'all can see, think about from October last year when my mama passed. I know y'all don't know my mama, but just think about this. Think about since October last year, just how amped up shit been getting, right? As far as these plagues falling, these diseases, pestilences, volcanoes popping up. Basically, the signs of the end time, the signs of the end, right? The plagues. Just think about that, right? So he was highlighting to me with the changing it from the 1513 to 14, that it's the changing of the tides. And that's what I was showing y'all and telling y'all. He did the same thing with the Ahmad Arbery situation. He showed me that 2 years ago to mark the same thing. And that's how all of this stuff come together. Like I said, bro, Yahweh is exponential in his brilliance. Undescribable in his brilliance. He can do whatever he wants. I'm just marking, taking down I just write it down. Whatever he showed me, whatever he tell me to do, I remember it until he tell me to, put it all together. You feel me? So, okay. To be exact, that was on February 27th with the gas pump, 2020 at 8:38 p.m. If y'all want to see that, that's the screenshot. February 27th, 2020 at 8:38 p.m. Like I said, bro, I don't have to lie to you. So, like I said, that happened to be on my mother's makeshift birthday, right? So, ironically, a couple days later on her actual birthday, which ironically this year is a leap year, so she would have been able to celebrate her actual birthday on the 29th, right? 2 days later, Yahweh, I'm still trying to figure out what Yahweh is doing with this pop. What is he doing with this pop, man? And that's when he started speaking to me what was going on with it. So he first told me, go look up Pop Smoke's information. Okay, so I go type in Pop Smoke on Google. So Pop Smoke's name is Bashar Barakah Jackson. Bashar, that's Bashar, Barakah, Barakah, Jackson. The first thing I noticed is that this young man we have the same birthday. He was born July 20th of 1999, as I keep telling y'all and highlighting that 9, the 99, that's my personal number. He was born on July 20th of 1999. I was born on July 20th of 1993, right? So, okay. From there, he tells me to look up the definitions of his name. Those are pretty uncommon names. I wouldn't have thought that those were his names. He looked like more like a Jermaine or some shit. You know what I'm saying? So he gonna tell me to go look up his names. The name Bashar is of Arabic origin and means bringer of glad tidings and bringer of good news, right? Bringer of glad tidings or bringer of good news, right? So, okay, I told y'all my auntie called me on the 19th. This is 10 days later and asked me, hey, nephew, did you get the news? Did you get the news, nephew? So y'all stay with me. The name Barakah. In Islam, Barakah is Arabic for blessing, or is a blessing power and a kind of continuity of spiritual presence and revelation that begins with God and flows through that and those closest to God. Barakah can be found within physical objects, places, and people as chosen by God, right? So, okay, he used this young man and his death, connected it with the passing of my mother and stepdad to eventually tell me that I'm the bringer of glad tidings or good tidings. So we're gonna go to a couple of scriptures that speak on this. So we're gonna start at Isaiah 40. Going back to Isaiah 40. This is 40 verse 9. We're gonna start at verse 9. O you that bringest good tidings to Zion, to Yahweh's people, get thee up on the high mountain. O you that bringest good tidings to Jerusalem, lift up your voice. And I told y'all, like recently, he's told me within the past few months, and that's why I started making these lessons, making these accounts. He told me that it was time to speak. Lift up my voice. Now, if I told y'all my life story is in this Bible. Now, if y'all don't want to believe me, that's on you. But I have no reason to lie. As you see, I'm showing you dates, times, and things like this. I can do this for everything I speak on. Lift up your voice with strength. Lift it up. Be not afraid. Say unto the cities of Judah, behold your God. Here's your God. His name is Yahweh. He's telling me to speak. Behold, Yahweh will come with strong hand, and his arm shall rule for him. Behold, his reward is with him, and his work before him. He shall feed his flock like a shepherd. I'm tripping. Like a shepherd. I'm reading. I read lambs and shepherd at the same time. His flock like a shepherd. He shall gather the lambs with his arm and carry them in his bosom, and shall gently lead those that are young, that are with young. Okay. From there, we're going to jump to Isaiah 41, and I'm going to read 25 through 28. I have raised up one from the north, and he shall come from the rising of the sun shall he come upon my name, and he shall come upon princes as upon mortar, and as upon potter treads clay, and as the potter treads clay. Who has declared from the beginning that we may know, and before time that we may say he is right? Yea, there is none that shows this. Yea, there is none that declares. Yea, there is none that hears your words. The first was I to say, Zion, behold, behold, I will give to Jerusalem one that brings good tidings. So he's speaking about somebody. This is Isaiah prophesying about somebody, one person who's going to be bringing good tidings to Israel, right? Bringing good news to Israel, that your curse is up. Who's going to be bringing good news to Israel that you're about to come out of your slavery, right? For I beheld, and there was no man, even among them, and there was no counselor, that when I asked of them, could answer a word. Now, I'm going to read that 27 once again, so that's 27. Another 9. The first was I to say to Zion, behold, behold them. and I will give to Jerusalem one that brings good tidings. The definition of Bashar is bringer of good tidings. My auntie asked me, hey, nephew, did you get the news? Right? So, okay. From there, we're going to jump to, I'm going to just throw this in here real quick. This is Isaiah 42:9. Behold, the former things are come to pass, and new things do I declare. Before they spring forth, I tell you of them. He's talking to, this is Yahweh talking to a specific being, a specific individual. That person, before the former things are past, the old things are past. Now, this new era that we're in, where the last days where the Son speaks, as you can read in Hebrews chapter 1, verses 1 and 2, the last days, he'll be speaking through the Son. I do declare. I declare, before they spring forth, I tell you of them. He tells me of things before they happen and shows them to me in visions, and I have to decode them. And that's how I'm able to bring out the news of what they are. So y'all don't have to believe me though, but I'm gonna go to Isaiah. I'm gonna go to Isaiah 61. And this is actually, I ain't gonna say it, but just pay attention. Isaiah 61. The Spirit of Yahweh is upon me, because Yahweh has anointed me to preach good tidings, or bring glad tidings unto the meek. He has sent me to bind up the brokenhearted, to proclaim liberty to the captives, and the opening of the prison to them that are bound, to proclaim Yahweh's year of release, and day of vengeance of our Elohim, to comfort all that mourn, to appoint unto them that mourn in Zion, to give unto them beauty for ashes, the oil of joy for mourning, the garment of praise for the spirit of heaviness, that they might be called trees of righteousness, the planting of Yahweh, that he might be glorified. And they shall build the old waste, they shall raise up the former desolations, and they shall repair the waste cities and desolations of many generations. Now, I told y'all in that vision, well, not the one where I saw Ahmad Arbery, but one of the ones that, yeah, like I said, it was a series of visions, but the communication upgrade vision. I told y'all I was on a bus with a bunch of gentlemen behind me. I was at the front of the bus, standing at the front of the bus. There's a bunch of dudes behind me. We was on the way to a gym. Now, ironically, the word gym, G-Y-M, adds up to another 45, which represents finality and judgment, right? We were on the way to a gym, and I overheard these gentlemen saying how before when they was there, it was fucked up. It was trash and debris everywhere, and now it had been cleaned up, renovated, and enhanced. So I'm going to read this again. And they shall build up the old waste, which would be trash and debris. They shall raise up the former desolations, and they shall repair the waste cities, the desolations of many generations. Right? So that's speaking on us going into our promised land. Right? So I really can stop right there. I just want to see if I want to make sure I ain't missing nothing, man. Let me make sure I ain't missing. Oh, I mean, just to throw this in there, I end up seeing, this tattoo right here that I got on my left hand. This is the very first tattoo that I have, or that I got when I was right after I turned 17, like a month after I turned 17, a couple weeks after I turned 17. I went and got this. Now, the metaphor behind this is I got the idea from Tupac, the rose that grew from concrete, which represents beauty and a delicate plant coming up through harsh or unexpected environments, right? Or hard places. So where that's synonymous, we can go to Isaiah 53. Who has believed our report, and to whom is the arm of Yahweh revealed? For he shall grow up before him as a tender plant, and as a root out of dry ground. A root, a tender plant. Is a rose not a tender plant? A root out of dry ground, a rose that grew from concrete. He has no form nor comeliness. And when we shall see him, there is no beauty that we shall desire him. From there, I'm going to jump to, what is that? Is it Ezekiel? Ezekiel, I want to say 37. Let me see. Plant of it now. I can't find it. Y'all just bear with me. I know it's one of these over here. Here it is. So this is Ezekiel 34. Yeah, 34. Now he's talking about, this right here, and I'm going to show y'all how it's significant. And I will raise up, this is 34:29. And I will raise up for them a plant of renown, a well-known plant, which would be a rose, right? Everybody knows what roses are, and they represent love and compassion and things like that, right? And they shall be no more consumed with hunger in the land, neither bear the shame of the heathen anymore. So I'm just giving y'all the connections. I ended up looking later and saw that this man Pop Smoke, basically, I don't know if y'all can see that. I should be able to. But that's a rose on his left. Is that his right hand? That's his right hand. Is it? No, that's his left hand. It just look weird on here. So yeah, on his left hand, just like it's on my left hand. Hey man, like I said, I got this when I was 17. A month after I turned 17. That's all the way back in 2010, bro. Nobody knew who Pop Smoke was. So, like I said, if y'all folk don't want to believe me, man, so be it. But at the end of the day, Yahweh does beautiful things, and all of this was to walk you through and show you the details of how your Heavenly Father uses things to speak, to show you, to give you messages. You got to pay attention. But at the end of the day, the overall point of what I was saying is that he was marking me as the bringer of good tidings. So from there, we're going to go to it. Like I said, I have much more details. So for those who do catch what I'm saying, go ahead and get offended. Because the more you come at me, I have evidence to show you that I'm not lying. All right, so we're going to go to Matthew 24, and we're going to read 13 and 14. Matter of fact, 13 through 15. But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. And the glad tidings, right? So somebody's supposed to be bringing some glad tidings of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come. When ye therefore shall see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet, stand in the holy place. Whoso reads, let him understand. See, this is the part where folks ain't been understanding. Y'all think that I ain't gonna get I ain't gonna get too ahead of myself, man. I'm gonna let y'all do, the cognitive work. I'm gonna let y'all do the critical thinking to put together what I'm telling y'all. Put together what I'm telling y'all, man. I don't have a reason to lie to you. Your Heavenly Father's name is Yahweh. He has guided me. He has taught me exponential, and I'm talking about just unfathomable things, and has even used, people in their lives to confirm things for me. Now, overall, like I said, with all of this being connected, the overall gist of what was being put together, Yahweh was letting me know that you are the bringer of good tidings, young man. Now, y'all let that marinate, man. I love y'all. I hope one day, y'all see what I'm saying and understand that it's all love. But matter of fact, I'm gonna leave y'all with one more thing. So we heard, Abraham wishing 400 years, right? He said, know of a surety that your seed shall sojourn in a land that is not theirs and shall serve a nation for 400 years, right? And after that, they shall come out and he shall judge that nation, right? So this is the apocalypse of Abraham, the same person he was speaking to, but more intricate details. Because like I said, they took certain stuff out of the Bible and scattered it out. This is chapter 28. I'm going to start at verse 4. In these 4 descents shall the retribution of their works be accomplished. In the 4th descent of 100 years, even 1 hour of the age will also be 100 years. That's 4 times 100. So that's 400 years. There shall come evil and misfortune among the heathen, but also, that's them plagues. But also for 1 hour there shall be mercy and honor among those nations. I'm going to skip down to chapter 29, verse 2. And I looked and saw a man going out from the left side of the nation, and there went out men and women and children from that side of the nation, many hosts and worshiped him. And while I still looked, there came many from the right side, and some of these insulted him, and some of them even struck him. But others, however, worshipped him. And as I watched, I saw Azazel approach him and kissed him on the face, and then stood behind him. And I said, O Eternal One, who is this man, insulted and beaten, who is worshipped by the nations and kissed by Azazel? And he said, Here, Abraham, the man you saw insulted and beaten, and yet worshipped by many. He is the relief Wouldn't that be good news? He is the relief granted by the nations to the people who proceed from you in the last days, in the 12th hour of the age of ungodliness. But in the 12th hour, which is the final hour of my age, I will set up this man from your generation, whom you saw go forth from among my people, and all who follow him will become like this man. And such as are called by my name will join to others, even those who will change within themselves. And as for those who emerge from the left side of the picture, this is the meaning. There shall be many from the nations who shall set their hopes on him. But as for those whom you saw from your seed on the right side of the picture who insulted and who struck him, many shall be offended in him, but some shall worship him. And he shall test those of your seed who have worshipped him in the 12th hour at the end, with a view to shortening the age of ungodliness. Before the age of ungodliness begins to grow, my judgment shall become, my judgment shall come upon the lawless peoples through the people of your seed, who have been separated unto me. And in those days I will bring upon all creatures of the earth 10 plagues, through misfortune and disease and sighing of their grief. So, once again, man, keep trying to tell you, I mean, your Messiah, the YAHWEH, the Jesus, the Yahshua that you're looking for, that's not his name. But the man that you're looking for was prophesied to come at the end of the 400 years, which is now. So I'm putting all this together with y'all. I'm going to let y'all do the rest. I hope you've been paying attention. This is not for my glory. This is not for my sake. This is for the sake of Yahweh. This is for you to understand the magnificent work of your Father. This is for you to love and appreciate him, and to take advantage of the opportunity to get to know him and to seek him before it's too late. It's all love from the bottom of my heart. Shalom.